Travelogue episode, The Wonders of Wuhan, the beating heart of central China. Buzzing with energy, this port city is a hotbed of history and culture. There's just so much to see and do, so hurry up and hop aboard for one spirited adventure.
G'day from this mighty metropolis on the mighty Yangtze, with a mighty 3,500 years of history. Now this is Wuhan, the cultural, political, economic, educational and transportation hub of central China. It's known as Zhusheng Tongqu, which means the thoroughfare of 9 provinces, and it's also a riparian gateway to the rest of the world. And because of that, it's an extraordinary city with an extraordinary character. My name is Zhui, you're watching Travelogue, and this is Wuhan.
Wuhan is the capital of Hubei Province. With a population of 10.7 million, it's a booming megalopolis lying at the confluence of the Yangtze River and its longest tributary, the Hanjiang. 5.5 hours on the high-speed train from Beijing, and you'll find yourself swept up in the ancient yet youthfully beating heart of the country. Because of its pivotal role in domestic transport, Wuhan has been nicknamed the Chicago of China. I wonder if breakfast is a big thing in Chicago though, because here in Wuhan, it's almost a felony to miss it. It's by far the one critical meal of the day, so rather than skip it in a rush, locals have refined the concept of brekkie on the go. I'm told that there are over 200 different types of breakfasts you can savor in Wuhan, which means 6 months of never having to repeat eat. And the best thing? Roadside vendors are everywhere. So if you have the coordination to slurp standing, do it proudly. Or if you prefer, doggy bag it. Really, there's no excuse. Even if morning mealtime is over, don't fear. There's Hubei Alley for all-day Wuhan breakfasts. Unsurprisingly, gorging yourself silly here is one of the top things to do. I mean, what is life without food? Hubei Alley is a 150-meter-long snack street, congested with mouth-watering smells and salivating people, myself included. As a tourist attraction, prices are often double those of a hawker's, but it's a one-stop shop for instant gastronomic satiation. This is doupi, one of Wuhan's most popular breakfasts. You might think it looks rather heavy for the first meal of the day, but this ritual of chowing down on calorific breakfasts actually developed from needing the energy to do hard yakka at the nearby port. Port labourers never had the time to sit down either, and hence the habit of takeaway. But rest assured, speed does not compromise flavour in Wuhan.
豆皮大王，听说你是这里做豆皮最厉害的。差不多吧。差不多。哇，我看一下你怎么做的。这个是。
这是糯米。
糯米哦 ，goodness rice。这个是什么？肉。
对，这是我们炒的那个豆皮里面的馅儿。
豆皮片跟有猪肉是吗？
啊，有的猪肉有牛肉的都有。
牛肉的也有。
对。
哦。
Apparently, this gentleman's family has been in the doupi business for decades and decades, so I've got high expectations.
Good luck. All right, this is the stuff. It's burning hot, but I'm gonna see how it tastes. Crispy on the outside. This is so perfect. And glutinous rice. I love everything glutinous rice. So, yum. Really amazing snack. All right, let's see what I can eat next.
Right up there on Wuhan's breakfast catalogue is mian, literally translated as hot, dry noodles. You could say it's achieved national cult status as a noodle dish. A regular bowl of mian involves pre-cooked noodles that have been cooled but are scalded in boiling water before serving. They are then topped with pickled vegetables, soy sauce, sesame paste, chili oil and chopped chives.
Hey, woohoo, 谢谢. All right, look at that. Gotta eat it like the Wuhan people though, mix it all up. This is, I guess, kind of like my wheat bix and milk in the morning. You know, the Wuhan people grow up eating this, so they really can't do with anything else. And now it's my go, so I gotta give this a good bite. Oh, very hot. but it's chewier and better, and actually a lot messier, so don't wear white.
After ingesting a double dosage of breakfast kilojoules, I should probably swim across the Yangtze. Too bad there's public transport. Wuhan is actually a conglomeration of 3 cities. Wuchang on the east faces Hankou and Hanyang on the west. Catching the ferry from one side to the other is an everyday commute for many, and often a time to snack. With frequent departures between 7 AM and 9 PM, and costing less than 2 RMB, it's understandable why so many locals choose this mode of transport, and why visitors do too. I disembark in Hankou, the main port in Hubei Province. For centuries, it was one of the 4 most famous towns in the country, and in 1861, it became one of the first Chinese cities to open to overseas trade. The colonial architecture peppering the place is the enduring echo of its past. Hankou was once home to 5 foreign concessions, including the British and French, but it's got its own personality too.
Whew. So, Leafy Boulevard is called Wuhan't Road, and many of the shops that line this cobbled alley are actually original, and they're more than 100 years old. It's a pretty nice place to come and chill, huh?
And then it's time for glorious gluttony again.
So the short name for Hubei is and Cai means Hubei cuisine. And I've heard this restaurant behind me serves a pretty decent array of typical Cai. Now, in a different Chinese character also means hungry, and that I definitely am.
This time it's a sit-down meal, but let's cut straight to the chase when dinner is served.
My God, this is a feast, isn't it?
这是最后一道菜，蒸长椒活鱼。
哦，好，谢谢。坐，请坐吧。
好。
谢谢。All right, well, looks like it's really fit for a king. 你可以帮我解释一下这是什么菜吗？
这是一道泡蒸扇片，这是桂鱼煮鱼圆。这个菜是酥骨武昌鱼，是毛泽东在武汉来吃的这个武昌鱼。
那湖北菜的口味是什么？
这个菜口味是植浓味大，鲜香，是吧？嫩为主。
不辣吗？
不辣，就是传统的湖北菜，它是不辣的。可以尝一尝嘛。
Yes, my favorite part. 这个武昌鱼是吗？
武昌鱼是有代表的菜嘛。
谢谢。Oh, that is really good. 好吃。为什么武昌鱼这么出名？
这个武昌鱼主要是大家都知道，湖北有个扬子湖，这一条湖跟到长江里面是打界的。它这个鱼产卵，它在这个湖里面，它生长在这个长江里面，它这个肉质是很嫩、很鲜的。
I agree with everything above.
Each mouthful of Cai is an explosion of scrumptiousness. Being so central, Wuhan has a palette for drawing culinary inspiration from surrounding places like Shanghai and Sichuan. Here, there's something for every tongue. Coming up next, the hallowed Wuhan landmark that's both old and new. An ancient art form takes center stage, and a modern production that's without a stage.
Alright, so this is Huanghe Lou, or Yellow Crane Tower, and it's the most iconic building in all of Wuhan. It was built around 1800 years ago, but it doesn't quite look so old to me. Guess we'll find out all about that.
So, it turns out that this revered landmark isn't the only Yellow Crane Tower in history. Inside, I discover that the original Huanghe Lou was built a kilometre or so away, no later than the year 223. However, it was repeatedly destroyed by warfare and fire, some say even 30 or more times, but it somehow managed to rise from the ashes again and again.
It's such a spectacular structure on the Yangtze, isn't it? I mean, I can see why some of China's most celebrated poets came here and romanticized this place, and its legend still lives on. You know, hundreds and thousands of tourists come here every day to see, I guess, the newest reincarnation of Huanghe Lou, and I hope it lasts longer than any of its predecessors. I mean, look at that epic panorama.
From here, you get an unfettered view of Wuhan, including what's often referred to as the first bridge on the Yangtze. It's a colourful conurbation, isn't it? This version of the Yellow Crane Tower, standing regally atop Snake Hill, was finished in 1985. I'm chatting to the project's chief designer and local resident, Mr. Xiang.
老师，这个黄鹤楼的设计特色是什么？
这个黄鹤楼它不是历史上原来的古代黄鹤楼的样子。 它是根据清朝最后一代黄鹤楼的样子，我们把它发展演变重新设计出来的。它的特点主要是保持了清代黄鹤楼这个叫直楼，就直筒筒上去那个直楼的这种形式，是一种塔式楼阁，像宝塔一样的楼阁。它四面来看都是一样的，所以这个楼阁是很有特色的。
很有特色。那这个楼是干什么的？不是有跟宗教有什么？
这个楼啊。 最早是在公元223年，也就是在三国的时候，有孙权在建这一个楼。那个时候的楼是一个城楼，是个打仗用的城楼。一直到了唐代的时候，再重建黄鹤楼，因为唐代不打仗了，全国统一了，所以那个时候修的楼呢，那就是一个宫景游览建筑。
黄鹤楼在中国的文化上是有什么地位？
黄鹤楼作为一个建筑物来讲啊，它的建筑文化，它所处的地位呢。 当然不如一些像故宫啊、天坛呐、长城呐，像那么高的地位。它对文化价值主要就反映在这个建筑它所承载的这个文化主体啊，一个是神仙的文化，一个是诗词的文化。这两个文化在我们国家是有很高地位的。它里面讲的神仙故事，就是说有什么仙人坐了黄鹤到这黄鹤楼来了。第二个有名呢，就是因为它的诗词。这个从唐代开始以唐代的诗人带头。 就在黄鹤楼写诗，从唐代开始到清代末年，统计下来，现在收集到的古人写的黄鹤楼的诗，或者以黄鹤楼为名字，或者写的黄鹤楼为内容的，有800多首。
Indeed, the Yellow Crane Tower was first made famous by acclaimed 8th century poet Zhui in his work called exactly that, the Yellow Crane Tower. To this day, Huanghe Lou is considered one of the 4 great towers of China, drawing in the snap-happy crowd. They do say, if you haven't been to the Yellow Crane Tower, you haven't been to Wuhan. Well, it is the magnificent emblem of this municipality, after all. Now, how about something that's rather more modern, comparatively at least? This is Zhui, 150 years old, and a traditional form of opera that's recognized as part of Hubei's intangible cultural heritage. The Zhui Opera Compendium numbers around 500 plays, featuring male, female, and clown roles. It tends to depict everyday stories with humour and a very rustic touch, using simple local dialect. So for the locals, it's easy to understand and highly amusing. For some, coming to these shows is so routine, it's like falling asleep in front of the TV. Really, it's a great little peek into the lives of a certain Wuhan demographic. Plus, the art form is fascinating, and the performers, fantastic.
Zhui 最大的地理特色是什么？
武汉是9省通衢， 这是一个很大的地域特点，南来的北往的都要经过这个地方。他们来了以后，我们楚居的人有一个很好的优点，愿意学习，愿意吸收。因此呢，楚居的很多优秀的剧目呢，它是从全国的这个传统文化当中吸收过来的。
现在的发展怎么样？现在是不是很多人喜欢看？
楚剧的发展呢，是一个上升的一个势头。现在呢，我们也有意识的培养青年观众，到学校里啊，我们去进行艺术讲座，也演唱给大专院校的学生，让他们听，把这个我们演唱的曲谱给他们，让他们学，为的是普及。不仅是楚剧在湖北武汉，也让它走出湖北武汉，面向全国，发展到海外。情缘是无事，终于。
As night falls over Wuhan, hundreds of people are about to embark on a voyage, one that takes performing art to another level. This is the Zhui, the full-size replica of an early 1900s steamship with 4 decks, 98 cabins, and a bold and brilliant cast and crew. It's also the very first interactive drama staged on the Yangtze River. Dressing up is optional, but lining up with a ticket is compulsory. As is getting all pumped up.
This is exciting. Multi-dimensional, drifting, immersive theatre. Sounds pretty good.
The action relocates from the wharf to the ballroom, and I'm immediately blown away by the immense production value of the whole thing. The stage design, costumes, choreography, I could go on. And it's so innovative. It's not one story being told on stage. There are countless stories depending on who you watch and listen to. And there is no stage. But there's a theme, 1920s Wuhan. And there's a must, get into it. Until you realize it's still a show. We're then ushered into the next section, a bar, complete with pianist, patrons, and holographic imaging technology. There's something happening everywhere, like narratives of blossoming love. And upstairs, individual actors tell anecdotes, some based on true events. Then on the third deck, we're shown to our private cabins.
Aha! So I guess this is where I'm going to be spending the night. Knock knock! Okay, I'm in. That is so cool! Oh man! You know, I reckon the best thing about this production, which I've really enjoyed so far, is that it's so real. Like, I can seriously believe that I'm in the 1920s. And yeah, it's like a musical plus a museum. And I've heard that there is a dress-up game that you can play as well. I'm guessing it's in the water. And voila! What do you reckon? It's not every day that you find me in a dress, especially a cheaper, but it's a very special occasion because I've time-travelled back to the 1920s, so I better dress the part, right? Anyway, let's see what other mischief I can get up to.
Outside, it's as if the time machine broke down, and here we all are in the roaring 20s, gazing at an artificial skyline, almost 1 century in the future. But somehow, it feels just right. We've set sail along the Yangtze, and the atmosphere on the crowded upper deck is sprightly, surreal. And guess what? The actors aren't acting anymore. Wait, were they acting before? Where am I? Was this all just a dream? No, this is Wuhan today. Wonderful, isn't it? Coming up next on Travelogue, a private lesson in local handicrafts, followed by a public lesson in national history, all in the spirit of Wuhan. So far, Wuhan has mostly been about stuffing my face and loud, lively acts. So, how about embracing my basically non-existent daintier side? I've arranged to meet an inheritor of provincial-level intangible cultural heritage called Han embroidery, which has experienced a recent renaissance after almost being lost to the world. 这个你花了多长时间啊？
这个已经绣了有3个月了。有3个月了，还要多长时间？黑绣3年，当然3天也黑绣啊。手工的这个东西啊，它就是你花了多少的力气，它就出怎样的成果。
杨老师，你可以跟我说一下这个汉绣的历史吗？
汉绣有着2300年的历史，在我们中国可以说是刺绣的一个鼻祖。
那汉绣的特点是什么？跟别的绣比有什么区别？
这个特点我们可以从它的构图上来说，这个汉绣它讲究一个热闹欢快，然后从它的色彩上面，用色特别的大胆，喜欢用这个红色，然后用对比色，因为我们楚人，上刺嘛，就是喜欢红色。然后从它的针法上来讲呢，我们跟其他的绣种也有一些区别。除了大家都会的这些最普通的针法以外，我们汉绣还有自己独特的3种针法。
那我可以体验一下吗？
可以呀。
We're going to end up destroying her entire artwork. But the good thing about this is that you can unravel everything that I've done. 好，现在
这个就是交叉，你看到有洞的地方就交叉一下。
Oh my goodness.
这只手不能帮忙。
Okay, one hand at a time. 底下从哪里上来？
这里
可以吗？That was a total stab in the dark, but hey, it worked. Okay. Oh, there's even a way to hold my fingers. Okay, 一定要这样。
Beautiful.
Okay, the more sophisticated way of doing things. All right.
地下针。
好像编织是吗？
对，这个也叫辫子绣。
辫子绣啊，
像编辫子一样。
对。Except it's much easier with hair. Okay. In case you're wondering, the Chu people belong to the state of Chu, which covered most of what is today's province of Hubei, from roughly 700 to 200 BC. Splendid works of art have been excavated from that period, proving that handicrafts like embroidery reached an exceptional level. Han embroidery was once so admired, a dedicated embroidery bureau and street were even set up in Wuhan. But during the Japanese invasion, it was all burnt down and this folk art almost vanished. These days, there are dexterous talents like Yang preserving tradition with their bare hands. I mean, just look and appreciate. These are masterpieces created with just needle and thread, and a whole lot of fortitude and flair. It seems that after conflicts and political strife, things in Wuhan are reborn, like the Yellow Crane Tower and Han embroidery. After the Wuchang uprising, an entire nation was reborn. My final goal in Wuhan is to learn about the armed rebellion that began the 1911 Chinese Revolution and how it resulted in the overthrow of the Qing dynasty and the founding of the Republic of China.
1912年4月，孙中山先生辞去南京临时大总统的职务之后呢，第一站就选择了访问武汉，并且在这个地方发表了重要的演讲。
哎，那个旗的图案很有意思，有什么意义？
这面旗呢是铁血18星旗，是革命党人在发动武昌起义的时候使用的旗帜。
The compound, originally a Hubei military government building, houses the Red Chamber, where the edict to bring down the monarchy was issued. It's now more a memorial site compared to this contemporary colossus just around the corner. This is the 1911 Revolution Museum, taking you in minuscule detail from before to after the uprising, how it originated from popular local unrest, through the battles, and ultimately to the birth of a new era. So it's late in the year 1911, and China is in the grips of one of the most important events that shaped its modern history. So Wuhan is the birthplace of the rebellion that eventually ended 2 millennia of imperial rule, and you can come to this museum to learn all about that. It's pretty well done, you know, they've got trees and dogs barking, so they've tried to recreate the time and place, and they've got excellent English translation. Yes! Maybe that's why I reckon it's one of the best museums I've been to in China. Plus, it's delightfully air-conditioned. Wuhan is one of the so-called 4 ovens of China for its oppressively hot 40+ degree summers. But I digress. Wuhan has been one enlightening escapade. This thriving metropolis, situated so strategically at the core of China and on the banks of the mighty Yangtze, is so much more than a thoroughfare. It's a potpourri of personalities, a product of its past and its populace. Its cuisine, its architecture, its arts, everything. It truly is extraordinary.
Well, I guess this brings us to the very end of our adventure in wonderful Wuhan, the heart of central China, and where I'll be leaving a little bit of my heart behind as well. So this place has a long and important history, but what I think gives it real character is actually its port culture and its people. They're proud and passionate, with one bowl of breakfast in one hand and the other ready to shake yours and welcome you to the spectacular city. My name's Zhui. I'll catch you next time on Travelogue.